Hey, so are you wondering, is social anxiety just ever gonna just go away on its own? Maybe if I just get older with age, is it just gonna go away so I don't have to deal with it anymore? Because you're probably doing so much work. Improv, Toastmasters, therapy, hypnosis, NLP. You're probably doing all of these things, breathing techniques, meditation, okay? And it's just not going. You're still that anxious person. So if that's you, stick around. I'm gonna explain exactly why you keep hitting that wall. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Rubin and I help individuals get relief from and eliminate their social anxiety attacks. Okay, so the blank mind, the racing heart, the feeling like you can't breathe, the shaky and embarrassing voice, the feeling like you want to run and escape out of conversations, okay? So if that's something you experience, consider hitting the subscribe button, and there's a bell notification that you can hit beside that so you can be notified of when I release helpful videos just like this one. Okay, so I'm gonna start and just give you the short answer here. No, it's not gonna go away. It's not gonna go away because you get older. It's not gonna go away because you move cities or you change jobs or you're out of school now. It's not gonna just go away on its own. And so let's get into why. Okay, so what exactly is social anxiety? It's the extreme fear of being judged and evaluated negatively by other people, okay? And you're so paranoid about how you come across and these judgments of other people that it results in full-on physical symptoms and ruminating thoughts. Okay, so let's say you have a presentation to do at work on Friday. You're anxious days before that. You have the ruminating thoughts days before that, playing out worst case scenario. How is it going to go? You're not present in your body days before, okay? And then when it comes time to present, okay, you get the physical symptoms. You try to speak, but you can't get more than a few words out because your mind goes blank, your heart's racing, you can't breathe, you feel like you want to run and escape, and it's extremely embarrassing and shameful. Your coworkers see these episodes and it makes you feel like you're not like them. You're different than your coworkers. You're not one of them, okay? You are less of a human, okay? And when those feelings hit, you don't wanna socialize, you don't wanna talk to anybody, and it leads to even further isolation, okay? So that is, a rundown, in a nutshell, social anxiety. Okay, and I want to show you this diagram here of why, moving to a new city, getting old, changing jobs, changing friends, this is not going to get rid of your social anxiety, okay? So in this diagram, so I actually showed this diagram here. I showed it in another video, okay? I'm going to link that video up at the end of the video, and that video was more so around why improv doesn't improve being witty, and it doesn't help you think on your feet when you have social anxiety, okay? So I'll link that up at the end of the video because I also went over this diagram in a different context. But here we are again. So I'm just gonna explain it like you haven't seen the other video. And we all have a nervous system. All humans, we have this nervous system which takes in information from our environment. It's always sensing our environment, and it's taking in that information through our 5 senses and then relaying that information through our 5 senses to our brain, okay? So here we have input. Okay, so that's what I'm talking about through the nervous system, through our 5 senses. We take in that information. So we have input, thalamus, amygdala. These are the areas of the brain, amygdala and hippocampus. Okay, and then we have the cortex up here. The thalamus, think of that as just like it's just a router. You take in the information, the thalamus directs that information to the different areas, these different areas of your brain. Okay, then we have the amygdala, where your emotions are. It's responsible for your emotions, and the hippocampus, that's where your memory is stored. When you have social anxiety, okay, what happens? It always results from some relational violation. Okay, so examples of that are past bullying, being bullied. You went through some bullying in school. Maybe you had critical and harsh parenting. Okay. Maybe you had neglectful parenting. It doesn't have to be super traumatic, okay? But these are painful experiences and traumatic events that you went through. And so we've had students come through trigger-free where they're reading in front of a class. Like as a kid, they were reading in front of a class and all the kids were making fun of them. They're put on the spot, right? And they're trying to read this paragraph and everybody's looking at them, making fun of them, okay? that can be something that's viewed as a traumatic thing that you went through, okay? Now, experiences like that one, the experience, okay, what you experience. The subconscious mind, your subconscious mind, is a storehouse. It stores every single experience you've had in your life, okay? It stores everything, and it stores it with a feeling tone, okay? And you're gonna see what I'm getting at here. This is extremely important because the very traumatic, the very emotionally painful ones, those are the ones that are getting triggered. They're getting accessed by your brain, okay? Your current situation, like the work situation we talked about, you have a presentation. That presentation, okay, it's reminding you of that time when you had to read in front of the class, okay? So what happens is during that moment, it reminds your brain of that past thing that happened, and it accesses this memory here, okay? And as you see, this memory, it's linked to certain emotions, okay? So what's gonna come up in that time is you're gonna feel the humiliation you felt back when you were young in that situation. You're going to feel the embarrassment, okay? You're gonna feel the powerlessness of the situation because the teacher was the one putting you on the spot. Okay, those are the emotions. That's the memory that's going to be accessed, and those are the associated emotions that are stored with that memory, and it's gonna come flooding back again, and you're gonna feel like that little, 7-year-old that was put on the spot to read that paragraph when you were in school. Now, there's a threshold here, because if it's not super traumatic, okay, the subconscious mind, if it's something in the subconscious mind, it's not super traumatic, and it's more so a little bit of shyness, for example. You can power through that with action, right? So through action, you'll be able to off-center these memories with new memories. So let's say, public speaking, you're getting put on the spot, giving that presentation at work, it's not so triggering for you to the point where you're not getting flooded with all of these physical symptoms, right? And then what that allows you to do is it allows you to do repetitions of that thing, and through those repetitions, you gain more memories, but those memories are more positive ones. They're associated with you conquering that thing that you needed to conquer, which is being able to give presentations, okay? Now, there's a fine balance here though, because if these more traumatic memories and emotions get triggered up, okay, and they flood you with all of those physical symptoms, okay, your brain makes that association with extreme danger, it floods you with all the symptoms, the blank mind, the racing heart, you feeling like you can't breathe, and you end up feeling humiliated again, you end up feeling powerless, stuck, all of these feelings that come up. You feel ashamed, you feel different than people, you've just experienced it again. You've just re-traumatized yourself again. So now it's not a memory from elementary or childhood and then your teens and then maybe your early 20s it was happening. No. Now it just happened again now, okay? So now it's happening right in this moment in your adult life, okay? And you have to start all over again. Because remember, eventually you do want all of those new memories and references that are associated with wins and good feelings to offset the more traumatic and painful ones. And so that's why social anxiety doesn't go away on its own. We have students that come through trigger-free, they're coming up on 50, 60, 70 years old. This thing does not go away. Why? Because it's stored here. It's stored here and it's waiting for you to be in that same situation that reminds you of what you've been in the past for your brain to access this, which is going to trigger you in that moment, okay? So it's really important. The approach should be to go back and rework the memories and release the emotions that are associated with those memories. So then when you go back into the external situation, the work meeting, for example, in your adult life, this whole thing doesn't have that same emotional charge. And when it doesn't have the same emotional charge, this track to the emotional brain gets slower, and the track to your thinking brain, your intelligence up here in the cortex, this gets faster. Okay? So you access this area of your brain, and this area, the thinking brain, the intelligent brain, okay, it dominates your experience in that moment. Okay, so I hope that helps you, because I know you've probably been doing a ton of work to overcome this social anxiety. And sometimes taking action it's not going to override those memory and those emotions, okay? It's gonna make things worse. Okay, and so if you wanna learn more about how to do that, then I highly recommend downloading your free guide. I'm gonna link it below the video actually. And I would highly recommend going through that because it's gonna show you how to get down to those memories, how to get down to those events that have caused your social anxiety to develop. It's not genetic, absolutely not, it's not genetic. Nobody is born walking around fearing in absolute paranoia about being judged by other people. That's a result of your life experiences. And the guide is gonna show you how to get down to know exactly what those experiences are and to create some movement with those emotions that are linked to those experiences so that your brain stops accessing such painful and overwhelming emotions and memories when you most need it, when you're in that work meeting and you need to speak, you need a functional mind. Okay, so I highly recommend going through that. Also, what you can do is you can follow me on Instagram. I got a ton of content, tips, inspiration, daily content that's gonna help you along your recovery journey. And then you can also join our Facebook group. So you can come in there, connect with the community, ask me questions, and connect with me more closely. I'll put both links below the video. And if you liked the video and you found it helpful, please like and subscribe. And here's that other video that I was talking about that goes into why improv and Toastmasters and these different things are not the right tool for developing that thinking on your feet when you have social anxiety. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. All right, peace out.